Right, hello everybody, welcome back to a video. This is probably the first one of just me with Nate Paul. Get used to it for the next couple of weeks or so, because someone's gone on his holidays. I were abroad somewhere where I'm not. I didn't need to kind of broad me. I live by the beach, you know what I mean? Kind of been a bit of seaweed on Roker Beach. This is just a video because I haven't been on for a while. Paul's done a couple. I'm just going to talk about things that people have been talking about on media, you know, like the takeover, Stewart, other bits and bobs about Sunderland. I'm just going to have a bit crack on to myself, interact with the comments down below, and I'll have a bit crack on me. First of all, if you can give this a big thumbs up, it would be very much appreciated. And also, if you're new, you like what you see, subscribe. Very much appreciated, because we're trying to push this channel on as much as we can. Right, first things first. There hasn't been a lot said about it over the last couple of weeks, which is a good thing in a way, and that's the takeover. There was a big thing about John Rees is head of a group that want to come in and buy out Dick and Dom, or Twit and Twat, or Del Boy and Rodney, whatever you want to call them. Them knobheads anyway. They're going to buy them out. They've had an offer accepted. There's also a bit of and ah about that. Was it the fans together? That's a load of bollocks. That's a load of shite. That's not happening. What's it called? KLD and Juan Sartori have said that they know nothing about it. They've had nothing to do with it. So I think before they even got mentioned, it was about John Rees and the group that he's with. And they said then there was a statement came out saying that it's going to be possibly up to 5 weeks before you hear anything about that. So for me, no news is good news. That means they're getting on with it behind the scenes. So hopefully in 5 weeks, or before the season at least, we should get news that that takeover has been complete. Then knobheads have gone, and we've got, well, someone with a bit of money behind them for a start, and still instead of them, and also people who support the club, people who've got the best interests in that, not just wanting to line their own pockets. And that's pretty much it, really. That's all I've got to say about the takeover. If any of you have heard any more news on it, which I don't think you have, because like me and Paul always keep our ears close to the wall, to the floor, to see what's been going on, but let us know in the comments. Also, another bit of good news that I read today, yesterday and today, is that obviously there's been a lot of talk about Morelos leaving. Paul did a video the other day about Morelos leaving Rangers, and they reckon that the perfect replacement is going to be Ross Stewart. And I've seen a few Sunderland fans get a bit panicky. I've seen a few bizarre Sunderland fans saying, "No, he's not good enough anyway, get rid of him, you need to blow and behave." Today and yesterday I read that the Rangers fans don't want him, and apparently Rangers have got somebody else lined up to replace Morelos, because Morelos is a type of player which is not like Ross Stewart. Morelos is small, bit physical, where Stewart's a different type of player. And yes, he's had one good season in League One, so that doesn't mean that a club like Rangers, which, let's be honest, the Rangers and Celtic are the only two big teams in Scotland. No offence if you do follow with any other Scottish teams, but let's be real. And they've said that Stewart is not their main target, not on their list. So for those saying that, he's not going to go to Rangers from what I've read. Basically, they don't want him. They've got their eyes on other people. And I don't think Rangers will be the type of club just to go chasing after a player who's only had one good season in League One. Morelos can leave, but like I said, they've got other people lined up. I know there's been rumours about Middlesbrough sniffing around Stewart, and other championship clubs going to offer him a deal. And it's obviously been heavily reported that Sunderland are going to offer him a new deal, which, good. He needs a new deal. Let's get him, let's tie him down. Let's keep him with us, because I can only see good things coming from next season. The way he plays, his work rate, and his eye for goal. If he's got a decent strike partner up front with him, whether it be Broadhead again, or whether it's someone else who will bring in, and see him building a good partnership. And like I say, it's a different style of football in the Championship. It's basically, let's be honest, it's shit in League One and League Two, isn't it? Championship, it's actual football. You use a bit of tactical nous in your games, and I think that'll benefit Stewart a lot more than what it has done in the last couple of seasons. So yeah, on that one, from what I can see, with Stewart's gone nowhere. We're going to offer him a new deal, but there hasn't been a lot of new deals announced. There was one that got possibly mentioned earlier on, which I'll come to in a bit. But people get saying, "No, we haven't tied this person down, we haven't tied that person down." People are on holiday. They've just had a full season. It only finished a few weeks ago. They're on holiday, and then they're coming back. I think they're coming back either this week or the beginning of next week. That's when they're going back into training. You've got people away on this stupid, embarrassing Nations League. You've got people away doing international friendlies or World Cup qualifiers like what Bailey Wright is. Big congratulations to Bailey Wright qualifying for the World Cup with Australia. So it's a good job. We're going to have that month break in the Championship for the World Cup because Bailey Wright will certainly be missing. Unfortunately, Stuart won't be, but unlucky Scotland. But you've got to give it time. There's been new deals offered or discussed briefly, but once they all get back into training, that's when the negotiations and all that will basically start coming into the press and into the media, and we'll find out a lot more. Moving on to that then, we've got Lyndon Gooch. Lyndon Gooch, he's been with us since he's 10-year-old. He's had his ups and downs. He's had his stick, but I think we can all agree that since Alex Neil's came in, he's been one of the best players on the team. Been absolutely class, his work rate's phenomenal, and he's really been showing what he can do. And I think the majority of us want him signed on, because he's out of contract now, and a lot of us want him signed on to play on next season. Even if he's just a squad member, but he's still a good person to have around the squad, and he can be an impact player, or if he plays like he has done the back end of the season, he can start games. You never know. You've got to bear in mind, he's been with us since the Premier League days. He's got Premier League experience, he's got Championship experience, and I think under the right management and under the right coaching, he can just go on and on and on. Sorry for coughing, I know some people don't like that. Swansea have been sniffing around Lyndon Gooch as well. Apparently, some of their fan people, or some people behind the scenes, I don't involve myself with Welsh football, but apparently they're saying they're going to offer him more money than what Sunderland are offering. Now, yes, I want Lyndon Gooch to stay, like most of us do, but I don't think we should be breaking the bank to keep him. Give him a sensible offer. Give him a sensible offer, and hopefully he stays when he's got his loyalty and all that. But at the end of the day, we know money talks in football. If Swansea's going to break the bank to try and sign him, I wouldn't go into competition. I do believe the size of Sunderland, especially if this takeover goes through, we're going to have a bit money behind us, you know what I mean? Especially if it is that John Reese and his group. And we know KLD's mum's got loads of money, so if he has to a bit advance in his pocket money, we can bring in some good players. As much as it's very, I like Gooch, I want him to stay. At the same time, I wouldn't go breaking the bank to try and keep him. Give him a sensible offer, but I wouldn't get in competition with other people. If he does move on, I wish him all the best. Like I say, hopefully I'd like him to stay, but like I say, we've got to be realistic. We can't be just flinging money about to try and keep people just because they've been with us since the 10-year-old. Love Lyndon, love what he done at the back end of last season, but we've got to be sensible here, because let's be honest, it took us 4 years to get promoted to the Championship again. We don't want it to take that long to start challenging for promotion in the Premiership. And as we all know, new blood needs to come in, and we can't be sticking with all the old players. New blood needs to come in, which will have an impact and will help us drive up that Championship League. Anyone agree? Anyone disagree? Get in the comments, let us know, and I'll either tell you you're wrong, or no, I'm only talking, and we'll have a bit of discussion about it. And it's always nice to see other people's opinions. Like Paul always says, one of my sayings that I always say, I didn't make it up, opinions are like arseholes, everyone's got one, and it's always good to see other people's point of view. Going on to the contracts again, like what I mentioned, Roberts, there hasn't been anything said about Roberts. Well, I haven't seen anything, and I've been looking for it. Patrick Roberts, I loved him back in the last season. Very influential under Alex Neil. Came off the bench, did good things. When he started games, he was very creative, always looking to go forward. Of course, he scored the vital equaliser, which essentially was the winning goal over the two legs in the playoffs against Sheff Wed. And he was brilliant at Wembley. Him and Pritchard linked together well to create Stuart's goal. Roberts, we know we had him on a 6-month deal till basically at the end of the season. There were stipulations in place where if them stipulations got met, we could have extended him for another year, but they weren't met. So essentially, he's a free agent. He did say last season that he wanted to stay with us. He was really enjoying his football. He was enjoying playing again, and he was finding like his love for the game again, and he was really enjoying it. And that led me to believe that he wanted to stay. So hopefully he does. Hopefully we do get an agreement in place, and we do keep Roberts for the next season or the next couple of seasons. Because, like I say, he was like a breath of fresh air. He's very fast, very skillful, very creative, and he pops up with a goal every now and then. And that's the kind of player that you want in your team for me. I mean, he was a hot prospect years ago, and then obviously he's died off by not playing or making the wrong transfers. He's done well with us. He's done it in League One. We want to see him do it now in the Championship. And then you've also got Bailey White, another one who's out of contract. Obviously, he's been away on international duties, as we all know. Scored a goal the other week. By the way, did everyone say the Australian goalkeeper in that penalty shootout? Absolutely barking mad, but he did it and it worked. And did you all know about the shithousery he done? The Peru goalkeeper on his water bottle had instructions of like where the Australian footballers went on the penalties, and the Australian goalkeeper seen it after the first penalty, picked it up and threw it in the crowd. So he couldn't go back to his notes. Anyway, that's not something related. I just found it very funny. I mean, the goalkeeper looked barking mad, and he acted barking mad, but he got them through the World Cup finals. So well done, and well done, Bailey White. Now, apparently, he's the one today when I said that apparently the contract's been done and accepted, it's just waiting to be signed. Like I say, Bailey White's not in Sunderland at the minute because he's been on international duties. Apparently, it's been done, it's all sorted. Like I say, just need to sign it, cross the T's, dot the I's and all that good stuff. So we'll find out more over the next few days, like when people come back. But apparently the Bailey White one is done. I'd like to say Bailey White, he was phenomenal, him and Danny back towards the back end of the season. And I think he's going to be vital going forward as well, because he showed that he's not just a leader, he's someone who puts his life on the line. 6-month deal to basically till the end of the season. There were stipulations in place where if them stipulations got met, we could have extended him for another year, but they weren't met. So essentially, he's a free agent. He did say last season that he wanted to stay with us. He was really enjoying his football. He was enjoying playing again, and he was finding like his love for the game again, and he was really enjoying it. And that led me to believe that he wanted to stay. So hopefully he does. Hopefully we do get an agreement in place, and we do keep Roberts for the next season or the next couple of seasons. Because, like I say, he was like a breath of fresh air. He's very fast, very skillful, very creative. And he pops up with a goal every now and then, and that's the kind of player that you want in your team for me. I mean, he was a hot prospect years ago, and then obviously he's died off by not playing or making the wrong transfers. He's done well with us. He's done it in League One. We want to see him do it now in the Championship. And then you've also got Bailey White, another one who's out of contract. Obviously, he's been away on international duties, as we all know. Scored a goal the other week. By the way, did everyone say the Australian goalkeeper in that penalty shootout? Absolutely barking mad, but he did it and it worked. And did you all know about the shithousery he done? The Peru goalkeeper on his water bottle had instructions of like where the Australian footballers went on the penalties, and the Australian goalkeeper seen it after the first penalty, picked it up and threw it in the crowd. So he couldn't go back to his notes. Anyway, that's not something related. I just found it very funny. I mean, the goalkeeper looked barking mad, and he acted barking mad, but he got them through the World Cup finals. So well done, and well done, Bailey White. Now, apparently, he's the one today when I said that apparently the contract's been done and accepted, it's just waiting to be signed. Like I say, Bailey White's not in Sunderland at the minute because he's been on international duties. Apparently, it's been done, it's all sorted. Like I say, just need to sign it, cross the T's, dot the I's and all that good stuff. So we'll find out more over the next few days, like when people come back. But apparently, the Bailey White one is done. I'd like to say Bailey White, he was phenomenal, him and Danny back towards the back end of the season, and I think he's going to be vital going forward as well, because he showed that he's not just a leader, he's someone who puts his life on the line, and when he plays well, the team plays well. You know what I mean? Also, as always, Sunderland are linked with different players here, different players there. I'm not going to mention too much on all of them, because basically I'll be here all bloody night. But the main two that I'm going to mention is the goalkeeper Dan Iverson from, who's it, Brighton? I think it's Brighton, I could be wrong. If I'm wrong, let us know, just call us a mug. But he's been on loan at Preston North End, and I've never seen him play, because obviously why would I be watching Preston North End? But I've been searching up and I've read up a few reviews and things like this, and the Preston fans think he's absolutely outstanding. And a few Brighton fans, I reckon he's unbelievable goalkeeper. I think he's still a Brighton player. He's not like out of contract now, but he's loan finished and he's went back to Brighton, and we're heavily linked with him. Now, Patterson is the number one. The way he played the back end of last season, I don't think anyone can take that away from him. But if you remember a video a couple of weeks ago when we were linked with John Ruddy, neither me and Paul will really get, buzzing about it. Like, yeah, he's got loads of experience. He's got Premier League experience, Championship experience, and he's got a good head on his shoulders. But bringing him in just to sit the bench. I wouldn't want, if Patterson did get injured, I wouldn't want him playing. He's getting on too much, you know what I mean? He's not as fast as what he used to be. But Dan Iverson, I think it would be good to have someone like him in, and then you've got him and Patterson battling it out for the number one spot, because I think that just gives you great confidence, knowing that you've got two good keepers battling out. Yes, one of them's not going to be happy about sitting on the bench, but then that'll push them to up their game in training, up their game in games, and basically battle for that number one spot, which I think is healthy in any professional football team. You didn't want one goalkeeper who's mint and then one who's a bit shit and he's quite happy sitting on the bench. You want them both wanting to play, but at the same time, only one can. But you want them battling. You want both of them to be able to do a job for your team when they come on. If that makes any sense, please let me know, because I think I've just confused myself. But by the by, and another player we've heavily been linked to, who's worked under Neal before, is Josh Murphy. Now, Josh Murphy, from what I can gather, he hasn't had the greatest of seasons last year, otherwise he wouldn't have been released by Cardiff, would he? But in Alex Neil's worked under him, and Peter gets saying that he could be the next McGeady and this, that, and the other. And I think, right, let's not get carried away, shall we? I remember him being mentioned, him and his brother, but we'll get on to him in a minute, that, you know, they've been playing well, good young prospects, and they're showing good flair, good speed and things like that. So he might be a good one to bring in, playing the Premiership, playing the Championship, under the right management, under the right coaching, which he's worked under Neil before, so Neil obviously knows a lot about him. He could be a good one to bring in. Like say, McGeady's gone now, Clark's gone back, we don't know if we're getting him back. There's been speculation and things said, but like I say, until July, the month of July, we're not going to know who's in, who's out, and things like that. I mean, there's going to be loads of spanners in the works. There'll probably be a couple of old players who leave, who we're not meant to, who we didn't expect and things like that. But we'll not know until July, when all the teams are back training and the transfers and that start getting done. But I think Josh Murphy could be a good addition to our squad. I think he could easily do a job on either side and as an attacking option type thing. I mean, like I say, we haven't even got Roberts tied down yet. And also, it could be a new rendition of the famous Sunderland song. You know which one it is, I'm sure you do. It would belong to the Howie brothers. But who does Josh Murphy's brother play for? Exactly. Josh Murphy, Josh Murphy, Josh Murphy, your brother is a... And you know the lyrics there, don't you? So it could be already fitted in. It obviously doesn't have the same ring to it as the Howie version, but it still fits, and I'm sure the Red White Army could make it work. What do you reckon? Yeah? No? I reckon it could. Another one that I want to put squashed to bed, the media, clickbait. We all know clickbait. Talking about bloody Luke O'Neill when he put that message on, and they were saying, is this his goodbye? No, nobody put the last sentence that he wrote on when they clipped it. And then they posted onto it, is this his goodbye? The last sentence said, look forward to get back to work in a few weeks. There was nothing to do with it. It was just clickbait, media trying to fish for clicks, fish for people reading it. What a load of nonsense. Luke O'Neill is Sunderland. He is Sunderland. He loves the club. He loves the fans. I mean, he's bought a house up here. And most footballers don't buy properties. They either get given them by the club, or they rent them somewhere. Him and his missus have bought a house up here. I don't think O'Neill ever wants to leave. He absolutely loves it up here. He loves us. He loves the club and he loves the city. Luke O'Neill, and you all know who watch this, I love you. Alright, so I know you're not going anywhere, and I'm looking forward to seeing you next season, mate. And finally, it was in the day, I've read it today, that basically they're all on the holidays, you know, after a long season. Neil Patterson, Jack Diamond and Dan Neal, three of our youngsters, they're on the holidays, they're enjoying a well-deserved break, but they've still been training hard in the gym, improving themselves before pre-season even starts, which is good to see. They're young, hungry, and they want to hit the ground running from the start of next season, and I like that, and you should like that as fellow Sunderland supporters. They've been going to a place called Unit 29, which specialises in like increasing sharpness, speed, and basically strength, and basically just general physical attributes of your game. You know what I mean? Strength, speed, stamina, and things like that. And they've been working hard. They've been training mega hard. There's also been a couple of people, because there's a Blackpool footballer called Gary Medine, who might know him. He scored against us a couple of seasons ago. He played for Blackpool, and he's been training there with him as well. So immediately people get, oh God, he's linked with Sunderland. No, he's from Burtley. He's from the northeast, So in when the season finishes, he comes up to see his family, but obviously he's still doing a bit of training. There's been nothing linking Medina to us, not this year, not this season yet. He's just training at the same place that 3 of our players happen to be training, because apparently this Unit 29 is a very well established place, which is why professional athletes go there and train. Just a little quick one, I say quick one, it's 18 minutes long. Quick one from me, just to let you know, I am still here, I haven't died. I've just been very busy, and I've had my birthday weekend, which was rough. I turned 30 for the 9th time at the weekend, and it was a bit brutal. But Paul's going on holiday on Friday, so if there's any Sunderland news, any signings, any contract, anything at all Sunderland, it'll be my ugly mug that you'll be looking at when we're putting videos up. So like I said at the start, thanks for joining us. I know the flag's backwards, but it's because of the way the camera is. I'm still new to all this stuff, that's why I need Paul to do the technical stuff. Hit the thumbs up, would be most appreciated, and subscribe if you're new, and no doubt I'll be speaking to you over the next few days or the next week or so. Thanks very much, see you later.